Sometimes like all you want to do is run. Hear me out, hear me out. If all the things you never show, there are the things I want you to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't wanna tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Losing almost all my energy. It's getting hard to talk to you, and I'm the only one who speaks. It's all the things you never show. There are the things I want to know. Secrets start in your heart to slow. But if you don't wanna tell me now, I guess I'll never know. Here we go.
Okay, guys, here we go. Welcome to another live of Nancy Guthrie. So thank you guys, of course, for being here. Don't forget to hit that like and the share. Yes, ma'am. Okay, I'll look in a second here. Hi, Sharon Parker. Anyways, you guys. So again, I guess, I mean, this case. What do you say? All the twists and turns of this case. Anyways, happy Thursday. This is my weekend, so I have next 2 days off. Don't forget it's Valentine's Day, I guess, coming up, eh? Me and my husband are doing something tomorrow, February 13th, Friday the 13th. Hey, Kimberly Hayden. Hey, Kimberly Hayden, how are you? Anyways, you guys, hope you guys are having a good day today. I know Nancy Guthrie's not having a good day any day. That keeps going by here, but it's a very twisted case, isn't it? You guys got the poll up there. See what your guys' thoughts are about the new email to TMZ. And I mean, we're gonna get kind of right into it. I'm just trying to decide what do I want to start. Every time I turn around, I know that there's the video of the knapsack guy and the with the side by side of the other knapsack guy, and I kind of put my own side by side there as well. Yeah. I'm not sure if I'm feeling that one, to be honest with you, but whatever your guys' thoughts are. I just got home from work not too long ago here, so kind of was watching some vids throughout the day of Fox and stuff like that, and just see what's going on. White tent goes up, forensic tents. We'll talk about that as well. And yeah, not sure what to think about that too much either, because the crime scene has already been contaminated by, within 30 to 40 hours there when it was released, and they keep going back, like in the house, obviously, it's not like somebody was in there, but like that whole door area, right? We saw Brian Entin and his cameraman go up there, and whoever else, I'm sure a lot of others went up there. So like, doesn't it, I don't know about you guys, but it seems like if this goes to court, it seems like it's going to be a nightmare from hell. The defense will have so much to work with on all the, what we might call, mess ups, hot mess, whatever, and all the craziness of this case. Anyways, I think I'll start off with, I don't know, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I think I'll start off with share Fox News. We're just going to watch some of these ones that have come out, discuss the case. It's really sad. It's just sad. All of it. It's just sad. And it just seems like, I don't know why, and I hate to say this, but it just feels like a truly bungled mess. Had they called FBI in right away, I'm sure, a lot of these fuck ups, stuff, say fuck ups, mess ups, whatever. I don't know. You know, we heard about, there was that one interview I watched today. Can't think of the guy's name. What is that noise? There must be a video or something playing in the background here. Something's kicking off. Maybe it's this thing right here. I think it's that person. Couple videos floating about, with people with knapsacks and kind of similar clothing and stuff like that. Oh, no, I must have something still else playing. Must be this one down here as well. It's on my Twitter. Hi, Marie. How are you? Let's see. Let me just check my bit. Yes, ma'am. Check this out. Let me just take a quick boo at what yes, ma'am just sent me. Oh my God, please. Oh my God. No, I ain't watching her whatsoever. Not at all. If that's what you sent me, not a hope in heck am I watching that channel. Nope. Ain't gonna do it. Let's see. What's this one? What's this other one you sent me? Oh my God, it's still hello, Mel. Yeah. Yeah. No, sorry, yes, ma'am. Unless you want to tell me what I'm supposed to look at, I'm sorry, I'm not watching that channel. No. Okay. Hi, Sharon. Marie, Susan, how are you doing? Hi, Phil. How are you? Madagascar. I want to say Madagascar each time. So yeah. So unless you want to tell me, hi, Sherry Lynn. Unless you want to tell me what's in that video that you find intriguing or important, I ain't listening to her. All right, just not gonna do it. Nope. If I can't respect a channel, ain't doing it. Well, I'll only do it behind the scenes if I feel like it sometimes. But anyways, I'm gonna play this one out first. And let's see him. Like I said, we'll just stop and talk about it. This case is very heartbreaking, to say the least. These emails are so fake. Yeah. You know what? I think so too. Well, hold on. Actually, I'll get in. Hi, I'll be frank. We'll get into that. Okay. Let's just play a little bit of this one first here. And okay, let's see here. Okay, I thought I hit play. If not,
at least I am conflicted in reading the messages coming from local law enforcement and the FBI. On one hand, there is this sense that they are zeroing in. There's forward deployment of HRT, of SWAT. There is some sense that they have leads that might be pointing them in some very limited directions. On the other hand, they're canvassing video from a month and a half long period, suggesting that the investigation is still wide open.
So the fact that they've mobilized their HRT team, which is the team that would affect the arrest of the perpetrator, tells me that they are starting to narrow in the scope of their investigation, and they want the team in place so that the team can be dispatched and react on a moment's notice.
But why then would you need to go back and look for neighbor video over a month and a half long period from the beginning of January to the date of the crime?
Because the investigation is still an active investigation, and they're looking for any clues. I said from the very beginning that I believe that this individual conducted some sort of surveillance prior to the date of the crime, which means typically they'll do a drive-through of the neighborhood, several days before, several weeks before. They'll go there multiple times, frequently trying to find the best way and the quickest way to get in and the quickest way to get out.
I'm still, Doctor, I will bring you into the conversation. On one hand, law enforcement is guarding information fairly closely to the vest. They're not sharing things with the public. That's become eminently clear. On the other hand, they're turning to the public for help for more information. Again, putting us in this position of, are you zeroing in? Is that why you're withholding information? You don't want to compromise the investigation? Or are you at a place where you're really asking, hey, we don't have it here. We need you, the public?
Well, yeah, I think it's about narrowing it down. I think there's so much chaos. There's so much noise being brought into this investigation, whether or not ransom notes are real, whether or not people detained are actually involved in the crime or just somehow ancillary involved. I think they're trying to focus, they're trying to tune out all the noise and try to figure out where exactly is the next step in this investigation. Where's the next piece that needs to be laid down in order to finalize and get Nancy Guthrie back?
In some ways, I feel like they are asking for the noise, asking for tips, soliciting 4,000 different calls to come in, which would suggest if you don't have some leads, you need someone to provide you those leads. Instead of zeroing in, they're opening up the investigation. But I'm not the investigator. You guys are both the experts on this. Stay with me for just a moment, guys, because we have brand new video that we want to share with you. There is new video, TMZ says, is on the FBI's radar in this case. It's being widely discussed online. It was captured at 1:52 in the morning at a home 5 miles from Nancy Guthrie's home. You see a man in the video both wearing a backpack and holding a backpack. One of them has reflective stripes, similar to the one worn by the man in the Nest camera video. The man appears to try and open a gate at a residence and is unable to do so. He leaves at 1:53. As a reminder, we have been told by law enforcement that software detected someone on camera at 2:12 a.m. So there would be 19 minutes in between this moment and that moment. And we want to be clear here. The person in this video is not a suspect or subject in any way at this time, but the video is out there and it's getting a lot of attention. So we wanted to address it, and it is being considered by the FBI. All right, let's turn back now to Jay Armis. So I'm trying to add together the timeline. This is 5 miles away from Nancy's residence at 1:50, what did we say, 1:53? Mm-hmm. So 1:52 a.m. And we need to put that into the timeline of when we see the video from Nancy's Nest camera footage, which I believe we just stated was at 2:12. Previously, there had been some discussion about 1:47 a.m.
The person in the video that was just shown, he may have been just a random burglar going and doing what they do at 2 o'clock in the morning, going from place to place, trying to see if they can break into cars, break into homes. The person that perpetrated this crime was definitely in a vehicle because he had to be able to remove Miss Guthrie from the location in a vehicle.
Let's go back to Dr. De La Torre. Let's talk about video for just one moment. As I understand it, people have on their front door often a Ring branded camera. In this case, it was a Nest branded camera, which is operated by Google. They can or cannot hook that up to a server, a cloud service. Many of us have that. I'm sure many people watching do. And when you do have that connected to the cloud service, you have the capability of going back and reviewing footage from several days, maybe even weeks in the past. That doesn't seem to be the case here. It seems to be the case that if you do not connect it to the cloud footage, everything is recorded on the local device. So if the perp takes the camera device off of the door, and we've seen the empty holder, he now has basically absolved himself from anything that happens on video afterward, and it's hard to recover what happened before because it's on the device. Now, this is what Google and the FBI were able to do. They were able to go get this video, even though it was supposedly only on the local device, and give us the images that we have. My question for you is, why is that all? If they're capable of getting that, can't they go back further in time and see when was Nancy dropped off at her home? Who walked her, if anyone did, to the door?
Yeah, you would think that they would be able to do it. And I think one of the bigger concerns is there a search warrant in place to get some of that stuff? I mean, when you see something like this, you see that it's shady. But the other elements of who dropped her off, those kinds of things, while they are important, just to kind of fill out the information, it's really not necessary for the public to see those kinds of things. It's really only for the investigators. This is just what they've released. This isn't everything that they've said they have in terms of available evidence to them.
That's very fair. That's very fair. This is what they have chosen to share with the public, which we will say is very little at this time. At the same time, asking the public for help, which is a difficult position to put the public in, quite honestly. If you're looking for help, but limiting the amount of information for the public to be able to help you, you are inherently limiting, are you not, Jay? the public's ability to help you?
Well, I mean, this is the phase of the investigation where they're reaching out to the public to try and provide information to fill in the gaps. They've already gone to the process of obtaining forensics, and they've probably exhausted the tips that they had developed on their own. So now they're reaching out to the public to see if anyone knows. This looks like my coworker. This looks like my brother-in-law. This looks like my landscaper.
You know, something I want to ask you both. I'm sorry, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
There's been this tendency to describe this suspect as, I've even seen some suggestion that he could be slow or lazy and that he's an amateur. At some point, and Dr. De La Torre, I'll go to you first and then we'll finish with Jay. This has been pulled off for 12 days. At some point, we're dealing with one of two options. We're either dealing with the option that this is not an amateur, that this is somebody who did very well in getting away with what is a very high-profile crime for 12 days, or we're dealing with some very massive, embarrassing mistakes by law enforcement. Dr. De La Torre.
I mean, I won't count out the second thing, but here's the first thing. You know, there's certainly possible when I see this video that I see someone who is putting in, you know, they're more relaxed, they're more confident, right? Nothing about this is sort of, you know, overwhelming. It's not distressing to them. They're there to fulfill a mission. They're there to do a thing that they've been convinced themselves to do, which is important for them to do. So there's not a lot of hesitation, right? The steps, the gates and stuff like that, that could just be an awkward step. But what I'm seeing is someone who is ready to go to do this thing.
Whatever this thing may be. And that's the question. Was this a crime of invasion? Was it a property crime? Was it a murder? Was it a kidnapping? Was it a fixer cleaning up a previous crime? Last word to you, Jay. I just think that at some point, as this goes on longer and longer, we're dealing with something. We're either dealing with mistakes by law enforcement or criminals that weren't so bumbling.
You know, that's not necessarily the case. A lot of times you have a bumbling criminal, but they didn't make enough mistakes that the law enforcement can capitalize on. You know, in law enforcement and as investigators, we're always looking for the one mistake that we can use to catch the bad guy.
Yeah.
That one mistake that leads and that one thread that you pull on and it unravels the entire sweater.
Well, unless it's a cliche that doesn't hold true, we've always understood. There's even a show named after it. Most of the evidence is gathered in the first 48.
That's absolutely true.
These guys pulled it off so far for 12 days.
So far.
All right, Jay Armis and John De La Torre, thank you both for being with us here today.
My pleasure.
Hey, Sean Hannah.
Okay. Marie, she's talking about the video of the guy that at like won something in the morning. And was it on this one? Was it on this one? Did they show it? This person. Talking about this person.
2 a.m. at a home 5 miles from Nancy Guthrie's home. You see a man.
Okay. That's the one she's saying. Yeah. Okay. We'll take that one down. Close that one off. What's the next one we got here? Can't watch this one, but we can read the okay, let's get into and what do you, and again, just you guys just put your thoughts in about what you guys feel like, you know, is this been basically a bumbled up case? Yeah, 2 backpacks. You know, do you feel like the guy in the video is not even the person, but someone similar type of thing? I mean, I'll play the video just a little bit later again, but I personally don't think that guy, like, there's no highlights. You know how the glow in the dark yellow and stuff. The backpacks, you know, like the one with the string that he's wearing isn't the same one as the Ozark, actually. So let me just pull that up in a second. The citizen says, what's funny is they talked to a neighbor and they said it was pretty peaceful neighborhood. Then I was watching a streamer yesterday of at least 4 different peeping Tom and burglars in the past month. Maybe that's considered peaceful on there. I don't think they resemble each other. I don't either. he doesn't feel his clothes the same, but the other guy, and not only that, like that guy's an old dude, okay, that's in that other video. When I look at that picture, like that guy, like to me, I don't think there's no fake mustache. I feel like he's like a Mexican or Latino or something like that. Perhaps I feel like he has like he's not. He doesn't seem like he's no. Like I get that the clothes are similar and the jacket and like the pockety thing. I get that, but I can't see this old fart that's sitting there with two backpacks, putting on the fucking Pepe Le Pew mustache and like I'm just gonna break in, to an 84 and like I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's the same person, but I can understand that there's some similar things as well. But I'll play that in just a minute. 1 second here. Share screen. No, I didn't want to share screen. I wanted to two. Nope, didn't want to touch that button either. Image file. 1 second here. Okay, so so on the thumbnail here, okay, and I'll come back to your guys' comments in a second. Okay. Okay, so let me take this comment down too. Sorry about that. New email video, Nancy Guthrie. Of course, this is the thumbnail for tonight. So the Ozark Trail hiker backpack, 25-liter black polyester adult /teen. Okay, so closer up look. You can understand now about the shine that was coming because it's obviously a black and white video, but you can obviously see the shine right now. Neither of those two knapsack that man had looked like that at all. Not the one that he was holding as he was trying to whatever. But anyways, so that's what it looks like, right? It got thicker tops, and obviously they're not showing the backside, but you can see the reflector stuff on the one that the guy's wearing the ring doorbell camera on, stuff like that there. So just that's what that backpack looks like, the exact one that they're talking about. 1 second, where was I here? I think the bald guy is not related. Nope. But why is there so many people running around in the middle of the night with freaking hobos, eh? I mean, typically, like obviously these are probably, some of them are definitely probably homeless people, and other ones are just little burglars, so it's just natural that they're going to have backpacks, honestly. That's so the guy that's in that ring doorbell camera, I don't believe that that's no RAPE kit. I don't, there's something very strange about that. I don't think that this guy that's at the door is, with his freaking, balaclava and on and his, freaking nitro gloves and everything. I don't know. I just have a hard time believing that this guy, that there's a R kit in there, to be honest with you. What the fuck do you want to do with the 84-year-old lady, for fuck's sake? Seriously. That reminds me of Madeleine McCann's case. The suspected killer of Madeleine McCann. And then he rapes like this 83-year-old lady over there. And I'm just like in my head going like, nothing against the 83-year-old lady, but like, ew? Like seriously? Out of all the females in the world, you want to target someone that really can't defend themselves, and so you pick an 83-year-old lady. It's crazy. It's sick. It's just sick. Any of it's sick. In my opinion, Sunday, I believe that the perpetrators are not working together. I think Nancy got this case is a different perpetrator on there. In my opinion, I just want to read that again. In my opinion, Sunny, I believe the perpetrators are not working together. And I think Nancy got these case is a different perpetrator. I was halfway with you there, but the last part of the sentence, I wasn't sure what you meant, to be honest with you. Unless, like, I personally now, The people that sent the ransom notes, I think that honestly they're a bunch of frauds, fakes, bunch of leeches, whatever you want to call them, butt suckers, parasites, losers, anything. I think that those people are just trying to ride a gravy train off of a very sad situation. And because you can't, if the people that are sending that are highly intelligent, and then you have dumbass there with the whole freaking wave of the flower. I'm sorry, but as time has gone by and the way that this ransom thing is played out and the way it came in after, I don't even think it's an afterthought. I think it's a bunch of parasites, leech suckers trying to siphon off some money. And right, because I mean, there's tons of these criminal hackers, malware, ransomware, dark web, all these people that, can do shit like this. And I just think that probably it's somebody across the world somewhere trying to take advantage of the whole Bitcoin situation and this case. And I honestly don't believe that it's going to pertain to the person that's at the door and whoever else he might have been with. And he might have been with nobody else. I kind of, I'm at the moment where I feel like it's almost solo. Now, the second email, that's what we're going to go back to in just a second. 1 second here. I'll come back. Honey, it's good to see you. Who's that? Oh, hi, little black bear. How are you? Anyways, welcome you guys who's ever in chat right now. Please hit the like, okay? If you guys could do me a favor for that, just hit the like. Always about the murdered and the missing. So if you guys, that's all I would ask. If you guys could just do that, that would be great. Okay, so I want to go to stop. And where is, where is this one? Oh, okay, we're going to go look at the transcript here. Show transcript. Okay. And then I can't play this one because, TMZ is just going to copyright claim it. So why bother? Okay. So TMZ has obtained a second email. I want to talk about this one with you guys in just a sec, okay? So TMZ has obtained a second email from the man who claims to know the identity of Nancy Guthrie's kidnapper. What, he says the word or a lot, but especially I've noticed, even though I see certain words a lot too. But when I read his last one, but I video recorded reading it, there were so many ums in there that I just started skipping by all the ums. So let's see here. I just did an We told you yesterday that this man sent us an email saying that he will reveal the name if he gets 1 Bitcoin. We checked the account all day. He did not receive anything. The account is bare. So this morning, just after 8 a.m. Pacific time, he sent us this other email complaining that he's not being taken seriously. Really, dude? Seriously? But okay. He says that he wants the Bitcoin, which is worth around 67K, for several reasons. Number one, he says by coming forward, he will become as he puts it, a national rat. He also says, and this is a quote, he doesn't want to be, quote, incriminated like the guy Carlos. Remember, Carlos is the delivery man who was taken into custody a couple of days ago. Yeah, we remember Carlos. He was detained and then released. He says that he fears retaliation, even though I noticed that they said that they raised the reward to, I think you want 2 Bitcoin now, dude, okay? Because they've raised the reward money now to 100K. All right. So he fears retaliation if he comes forward, and that he needs the Bitcoin because he's going to have to lay low after coming forward. And then he talks about the difference between yesterday and today, and that we are not going to get specific about what he's talking about. He says that it's chilling what he is insinuating here, but we have told law enforcement we're not going to go give the specifics about what he's talking about. Let's see here. We're not right. Okay, but he says all the time, so I'm trying to avoid that. But he makes it very clear that this will be his second attempt and last. The threats of it all. Let's see here. Let's see where I left off here. Oh, yeah. We have checked with Bitcoin address that he sent us. By the way, the one from yesterday and today, they are the same. And we checked the Bitcoin address just before I'm shooting this and talking to you. And again, there is nothing in that Bitcoin account at least right now. All right. Let me just use messaging me quickly. All right. Okay, Shannon. Okay. So. I want to know what you guys think about the secondary email that he's basically saying, like, look, you know what? I'm trying to be helpful here, is basically what he's saying. I'm going to give you one last time, because I'm going to be a national rat, what else, whatever else he said there, going to have to lay low and stuff like that. Now, I always go by my gut instinct on what I feel on this one. For some reason, there's something about this second email. I don't know if his bullshit is getting by me for a moment here, but as soon as I heard Harvey read it, I instantly felt that this person actually could know who this person is. So I don't think that this secondary person has anything to do with those, leeches, those little parasites there from the first whatever email it was, the ones of the first and what was it, third or whatever it was, the ones that are asking for 6 million, right? Now it's all crap. Now the reward is 100,000. Hi, Charmaine. But there's this piece in me that sometimes when I believe somebody might have, like, that might be telling the truth, but obviously wants money out of it to lay low. But I don't know, there was something in there, the wording, that I was like, the guy that's in front of the camera, the Ring doorbell camera, he might actually know who that fucker is, to be honest. But he wants something for it. But there was something in there that just made me feel like there could be a ring of truth. I just find it a little ballsy that he's actually sending a second email to say, hey, I'm literally telling you that I could give you information. I'm just asking for a little piece of the pie, but I'm willing to give up that, this be a national rat to get a little piece of the pie. I don't know. There's just something there that possibly rang with some truth. Now, I still don't feel like the people from the $6 million, to me, all I can say to those people is have a cup of go fuck yourself. You ain't getting no $6 million. You ain't getting freaking a pound of shit your way. Well, maybe the $300 or whatever it was. But other than that, I really don't feel. I feel like these are just people that muddied the waters with it all. And I don't feel like it's legit. The whole ransom 6 million, no proof of life, 2 days after. I mean, come on, have we even heard from them again? Right? I mean, it was kind of weird. The Savannah Guthrie's like, we'll pay. And then the next day it was almost like, you know what, everyone, just, if you guys just could help out and, any information you might have and stuff like that. If you want a helping in need, you could get a reward if you're not a douchebag, right? Because, You know, oh, he doesn't want to be like Carlos. Honestly, you know what, Miss Dog Lover, I've thought about you a few times recently. I know that you've been going through a lot of changes going on in your life. I love you, girl. I was just thinking about you last night again. Gonna ask you how everything's going for you with all the different changes and stuff like that. Let's see here. Hey, Charmaine. Nah. Hopefully, Charmaine, give Charmaine some love and hugs too. You know, some people are having a little bit of bad days a little bit right now. Cassie and her dog, Charmaine, you know, loss of a family member there, and you know, so biggest hugs to you guys, and you know, Sharon Parker and her health issues, and Miss Dog Lover, and like I said, her changes in life going on, and you know that chick named Sunny. Actually, I'm fine. I'm good. It was pancake day at work today. It was nice watching the bosses make us pancakes and bacon and sausage. I didn't have the sausage. I'm a bacon person, and then some fruit. I'm not even gonna lie. I love cantaloupe. Cantaloupe was hard as shit. Wrong season. Hey Carol, how are you? Yeah, prayers and hugs to everybody. Okay. So like it's just that whenever I feel like something could ring a bit of truth, and I kind of think that possibly Dick Fuck from these 2 emails that wants to a Bitcoin, I just feel like there's a possibility more there than I do with the $6 million ransom. And to be honest with you, I'm almost feeling, I don't know, but I'm starting to feel myself. And this case can take you up a roller coaster and down it, you know, all within hours, days, minutes, and stuff like that. You know, flip flopping like a freaking fish out of the pond there. But at this moment, this is my thoughts. At this moment, I think he was by himself. I kind of think he was by himself, to be honest with you. You know, the whole backpack thing. I don't know. I feel like he was by himself, you know, in his car that you couldn't see in view. I don't know. I just keep flip-flopping, but that's where I'm at this minute of today. That's what I feel. Anybody? And I feel like I said that the tent is contaminated, like meaning they've already contaminated the area. So how are they going to possibly use that? Maybe just to see who the person is. But as for actual evidence, I think it would be a far cry that they could use anything in that front door entrance. Oh, and then Steffa was on here yesterday with me, and there was this card from, I don't know, something about elderly people protection or whatever, and on Brian Entin's video. So yeah, that card was placed there prior to the act, like prior to the abduction or kidnapping, whatever you want to call it. How did he get her into the car? You know, that's to me is not hard, Pretty Star, honestly. That to me is not hard, you know, like meaning, yeah, they're heavier, but it's, I mean, we see crimes all the time where it's one perpetrator, you know, and getting, so that part won't faze me about that. You know, I might have made him sweat even more. How many of you guys feel like these gloves have anything to do with the case? Does anyone think that these gloves are going to attach back to this case? Or do you think that, you know, these random gloves are going to just be useless in a sense? Yeah, possibly to. Like possibly to, you know, possibly. But the thing that's made this all messy is the fact of the ransom. So it's, if you believe that the ransoms are legit, which I personally don't anymore, not the email guy, but just the ransom. To me, that kind of detaches that. So then if I look at it like, okay, a single person would do this for sure, because there's these freaking creeps all day long that would do something like this. The knapsack does throw me off because I really don't feel like it's an R kit at all. You know, I mean, if he would have left her alive, but you know, and I did see the blood trail that they were showing that someone had mentioned yesterday, because when Brian Entin was first talking about it, he said that like there's no other blood, like it's just there. But nah, there's blood in that whole gravel part area as well. So right, and kind of like her home is obviously like her driveway is rounded, and I was watching even that on JLR, and he comes in from a certain way, so it's very easy for that vehicle not to have been seen, you know, because it could have been parked by the pool, could have been parked near the road. What is that? I just heard a noise. Maybe it was my husband going into the bathroom. Yeah, bathroom door or something. Okay, I seen Karen and Chris last night mention Nancy's. What the heck does that say, BBB? Wait, what kind of wording is after Nancy's? That's like a whole new language right there. Yeah. And Ramos? Is that supposed to be rumors? I can't make out the other word. House? Wait. I see. The bills to pay. Hey, Miss Lover. Is it? How did you get in here?
I'm okay, thanks, Sunny.
Oh, you must.
It's so bizarre. It's all over in his channels.
Right. It's a huge case. Absolutely. Right. It is bizarre. It's, you know, it's bizarre because of the ransom notes, the freaking releasing of the house as if it was just like, yeah, you know, some old lady, she's just kidnapped. I give, you know what, she'll be back. You know, here's your keys back to the home. You know, we keep hearing how much Nanos is an arrogant, basically vindictive type of personality and stuff like that. And it feels like out of a Cracker Jack box a bit, you know. It's and I know that there's good work going on as well, but it feels like a dog trying to chase his tail. What do you want? What are you meowing about? What do you want? I'm trying to talk here on the live. You're interrupting me. Okay, but thanks, Miss Dog Lover. Okay, I'm gonna put up another video as well. And which one? This. Oh, I can't play that one. So I read that. Okay, let's watch this one next. And okay, I gotta take that down. Meow, wow. It's Bambi girl, aren't you? You know, usually I call her psycho bitch. She's like a tomboy. That's what she is. She loves her ass taps. She just loves it. Like it's crazy. It's like a tomboy for sure. Anyways, yeah, mommy will let you out in a second. Yeah. Hey, get off the chair. Forget that. My chair.
Cars or vehicle
okay,
traffic,
so I'll play
pedestrians,
this.
or anything that looks
And I'm just going to go that Bambi.
This just in from TMZ as well. New video said to be on the FBI's radar of a man with a couple of backpacks, 2 backpacks. They say was shot at 1:52 in the morning, about 5 miles from Nancy's home. Back now to see National correspondent Brian Entin, who's live once again in Tucson with this and more. What are you following, Brian?
Yeah, I want to take a look at that new video that's been obtained again from a Ring camera, because this is new and it's interesting when you really look at it closely. It's from about 5 miles away from Nancy Guthrie's house, and you see a man there. He's got a backpack on. Remember, the guy who came to Nancy's house had a backpack on. His face is not covered, and we've blurred the face because police haven't said that this person is involved at all. But we know that the sheriff's office has the video and is looking into the video. But you see him go up to a gate. It looks suspicious. He kind of goes near a trash can, is looking around, and then walks away. But this is 5 miles away again from Nancy's house, and it's shot around the same time, at least according to the timestamps and what we're hearing, as when the Ring camera was first disabled here at Nancy Guthrie's house. So it's hard to imagine that this person would be able to make it from 5 miles away over to here to Nancy's house. But at the same time, Connell, we know that investigators are looking into it and are trying to figure out the timing of it all. Also new today, there was a tent that was put up outside Nancy Guthrie's front door. This happened a couple of hours ago. There was equipment brought in where they were taking photographs inside the tent. And remember, that's right where the blood was found. When we went up there a couple days after all this started, this tent was put around where the blood was. But what they also had was, and you mentioned it, it's called a forensic height board. We saw them going in with the forensic height board that they were carrying. And they use that, we're told, to figure out how tall the suspect is. They go back and they look at the surveillance photos and video and they compare it with the forensic height board. And you're going to see here, he's carrying it right there. We zoomed in. That's the forensic height board. Hopefully to figure out how tall this person is, then they can put that out, which would obviously help narrow down who it is with all of the leads coming in, Connell.
All right, I want to bring in Sheriff Mark Daniels on this, Brian. You stay with us as well. He's Cochise County, Arizona, so nearby, knows the area, has joined our show on numerous occasions. Good to see you, Sheriff. Brian brings up a couple of things, so I'll just run it by you, big picture, to say whether it's the height board or whether it's this video of the guy with the backpack 5 miles away. What's your sense of where this investigation is on day 12 and whether they're really making progress?
Well, let me just say, thanks for having me on the show again, Connell. And when you look at traditional policing, that has come straight from your communities where the community, the citizens are giving us tips, working with us side by side. That's a huge plus. And then you look at the technological side of this, where you're bringing in the boards, you're bringing in the forensic, all the things you see working together with a collective effort of all. This case is in the right direction. It truly is in the fact that everybody's doing the right thing to solve this and bring some justice to the Guthrie family.
I wanted to ask, and Brian, could you hop back with us for a moment, the sheriff a question, because earlier, I think it was a couple hours ago, when you and I were speaking, you mentioned some questions were being brought up about like who's in charge, right? I know that, Sheriff Daniels with Cochise County, not Pima County, but what was going on with that earlier, so I can run it by the sheriff?
Yeah, so we've spoken with people who are specifically part of the investigation, because I've been asking the question for a week now. Who is in charge? Is the sheriff in charge? Because he hasn't done any press conferences anymore. We haven't seen him in days. Or has the FBI taken over? And the sheriff wouldn't answer the question at the last press conference. But the new item here is we have heard from investigators working the case that even they don't know who's in charge. They can't say whether the sheriff or the FBI is in charge, and they're actually working the investigation.
That's interesting. All right, Brian, you got to go do some reporting. Go ahead and do that. We'll talk to you later. But I wanted to run that by you, Sheriff Daniels. Again, you know the area. You know how investigations work. I'm sure you've worked with federal investigators before. What would you say about how this has been all going and who's running it?
Well, the recipe of success always comes when we work together, state, local, and federal. We've talked about many incidents out here on the border directly and criminal investigations. In this case, there is no who's in charge thought because they're working hand in hand. I have heard nothing. We've talked to the FBI. We've done some support assist on this investigation. We talked to the sheriff's office. So we're working with them based on the needs and follow up on those tips that we're getting so much of, thousands of them that are going into Pima County Sheriff's Office and the FBI. So it's not who's in charge. It's as long as they're working together, the Guthrie family will be successful at the end because we're going to bring justice to this case.
Thank you for
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so Miss Dogliver, you said, so 41 months, Miss Dogliver, just a long time channel member, obviously. That's coming up to 4 years, isn't it? Shit. Did they say how he got in? Was it a break-in? Well, that's the thing, right? Because we obviously know that we're only gotten pieces of that camera footage, right? Of the suspect or whatever. And obviously there's the door, right? And you see him try to turn. Actually, I'll play my video just as we're talking about that. So 1 second here. I'll just play that as we're doing that. Okay. Let me 1 second here. Freaking, I don't know why. I need to reboot or something. Laggy as shit. But anyways, so that's the thing, right? Is that as he's trying to get, some people think it's a female. If you do, I'm still going with the male thing going on. Yeah, sure, there's similarities there. Okay, but like this isn't blurred out, so you guys can see, right? I mean, this guy's like hankering about what? 60s, 70s, 80s, even, gray haired dude. Totally different backpack. Now it is black, but that one has like different coloring you can see on it. Now it does have the stringy things like most backpacks do. Like his, draws to the front as well. On there, kind of like how this guy's does too. But like on the jacket, they're showing kind of like the zipper pocket area there. I mean, like it's kind of uncanny seeing somebody with very similar clothes on. But yeah, this guy has a bigger ass or something, unless it's the Ring doorbell camera. Yeah. This guy seems short and stout, like shorter. He doesn't seem very well, 5'9", 5'10", right? But so anyways, so he tries to get in the door. Now she has that barring, on her door, and it's locked, obviously. Right now, from when I remember Ashley Banfield telling us about her source and, tomato guy there. Well, another thing that was said was like about the back door. Now, Nano guy there, the sheriff, he was like, well, I didn't say if it was the front door or whatever like that. And then, but anyways, but Ashley had made the comment from her source or something that it like that the back door was like kicked in. And so obviously in the one, like it's not showing here in the video here, but you know how like you can see that the secondary picture where he doesn't have the knapsack on. He just kind of, you can just see the clothes, but you don't see any knapsack strings here or anything like that. So like I said, they are just giving us bits and pieces of, they're basically giving us the best thing that might produce tips, right? And keeping certain things, of course, to the vest with the rest of the video. So I'm thinking that probably it's correct, the back door, because if Nancy opens up that door, she's not opening it up, right? She's not going to sit there and unlock the bar door if dude here with the ski mask and whatever on is there. So to me, it would have to be like around the back or something like that. Let's see here. I think it's someone who's familiar with this family and wealth. Yeah, I still think it's someone that's familiar as well. The new footage, the guy stumbling over perp, isn't off, so he doesn't feel the clothes much. I personally, this is where watching it, yeah, I just not seeing it at all myself. The day Ashley Banfield's emails and Epstein files were released, she pulled from news station. Oh, and now she's suddenly sick. She did one yesterday. She did a video yesterday on there. Yeah, I don't know why she left News Nation, but maybe there was something to that. But I mean, it's not like she is speaking ill will or anything. So I'm not really sure. We've only been shown one of the likely several persons doing this, so this could be one of the second we haven't seen. Yeah, not feeling it myself there, Dak, but we don't really know the answer either, do we? It's all just us speculating, trying to make the most sense out of all this craziness with this case. It's really a bizarre case, to say the least. But behind all this, do I feel like Nancy Guthrie is going to have answers? I do. Regardless if it's a hot mess of a case and all that at the moment, do I feel that they're going to be able to either track down a purchase made of this backpack, whether it was purchased, if it's just Walmart or whoever carries it. I feel like, that once they keep searching and gathering them and looking at the articles, and who knows about the glove seems strange that, I mean, I don't know, right? I mean, if the guy wouldn't have picked up the stupid bush and try to conceal himself, like seriously, that makes you think like, is this Dumb and Dumber movie part like whatever 3? You know, it's just absurd that someone's gonna go pick flowers to try to. It just is weird. So if someone's that much of an idiot, are they that much of an idiot to throw out gloves? I don't know. I'll be shocked if those gloves are even attached to this case, to be honest with you. But I do feel like they're gonna figure it out. I think that after they go down, kind of like the Brian Koberger case, you guys, I feel like once they have these warrants and get, you know, certain information and stuff like that, I think it's going to lead to a trail. And I think, I don't know, do you guys feel like these ransom, you know, these $6 million ransom people are backing off of it now? I mean, seriously, we haven't heard anything. There's no sign of them. Even it doesn't make sense. It makes sense to people that are sick and twisted, that insert themselves because they don't give 2 fucks about anybody's feelings or lives. All they care about is their pocketbooks. They don't give 2 shits. I just feel like they're just leeches of life trying to ride off of a very sad situation. And, you know, they're probably going to back down being like, well, we tried, you know. Putting foliage on a camera, someone on drug. Yeah, and I'm sorry, but leave it to a man to say that must be a female, because no man would ever do that. I mean, I can understand where that's coming from, but I don't see no female body behind. I know that there's butch females out there, but I'm not seeing this as some female chick myself, you know. It'd be a freaking twist if that was the case, but I don't see that, right? But it could be, you never know. Anyways, let's see here. I want to find that one I was watching earlier today, but I know I have another. Okay, well, hold on. How long is this one? 6 minutes. Let's just watch this other one. So as for this personal dude, whatever your thoughts are, absolutely. I just personally don't feel like this person, even either of his knapsacks are the same. The clothing, kind of, I get it. This guy's more lankier, taller than the dude on the left that's at the Ring doorbell camera. So I'm gonna myself feel like nah. I just go with my gut right away. You know, when I see something and I'm just not seeing, you know, I'm seeing another person that's trying to probably rip somebody off. You know, that's, you know, with his knapsacks and stuff like that. And maybe, I don't know, Avast is running a scan. But I don't know. It's such a weird case. Unless she tied her boobies down to look like a man or didn't have any, or could have, right? Put on that stuff around the waist, flatten those and stick on a little Pepe Le Pew mustache. Nah, I think that this is a man. I think that mustache there is real, just like I think the goatee is real, just like I think that person has a tat right there or something that they were showing. One thing for sure, he's in no rush. So, right, you know what I mean? When he was picking the bush, I mean, he looked up. You know, it was kind of like, let me just, you know, like he had that look like, just check and see if anyone's noticing me yet. You know. But anyway, let me go to that other. I definitely need to reboot my computer. Stop screen. Share screen. You know what? I'd have to look like I don't know. Like if you want to try to cover these suckers, these are freaking not gonna happen. You would totally say female. Share screen. I got what am I like? Freaking D44, something like that. Ain't happening. You know what? Piss off, Advast. Go away. Let's see here. Okay. Let's play this one.
Like this, especially with AI, we will probably have traditional
my bad.
Nick Barrero, certified audio video forensic analyst and chief forensic analyst at Principal Forensics, and Teresa Payton, CEO of the cybersecurity for Fortalice Solutions. She's a former White House chief information officer. It's great to have all of you with us. Thank you very much for being here. Ren, let me start with you. You know, the thing that I keep writing in my notes as I hear all this and I watch all of this, right? The analysis that we're seeing that's done now, the tent that goes up, analysis potentially of these blood spots. It feels like it's taken a long time to seal off this area and get in there and preserve this, and to preserve any video that might be within 2 miles of these houses. Your thoughts on all this?
Yeah, I know it's frustrating and for the public to watch law enforcement work this way, but sometimes we don't have all the information. Now, keep in mind.
Just quickly on here, just since they're showing this. So obviously we see where the front door is, but then do you see where like that patio is on the side? And then there's those things there. So that could have easily have been where the perp got inside. And I'll just make it bigger again, but you know, I'd have to crop it, and maybe I'll take a screenshot quickly actually. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, I've got a screenshot. I'll bring it closer later. I'll just keep playing. Boom, boom, boom.
We're bringing in 18,000 reported leads so far since that video has been released. And what's happening is they're also getting updated information. Hey, I saw a vehicle stopped over here on the side of the road. Hey, I noticed this little object over here. And so you're seeing the tasking of agents on actionable intelligence to go and collect that new information. But I agree, it is frustrating to see all these things that should have been or could have been done earlier. But in hindsight, we have to always trust the law enforcement. But I still believe, based on the beginning of this investigation, that things started way too slow. And some reporting is that there was a disconnect between the sheriff's office and the FBI, which is unacceptable. We don't have time of luxury. We have to move quickly on this case. So I can see why it's frustrating.
Yeah, Nick Barrero, you look at that tent that went up in front of the house today, and I think about all the people who were going up to that front door. And, you know, pizza delivery at one point to a reporter, back and forth. And now they sealed it off this morning and tried to, I would imagine, you know, take pictures in there, get anything they could forensically from that area.
Yeah, my guess is that the blood, the fibers, all of that type of forensic stuff was already done. And this tent is up specifically for the forensic video analysts to get in there and do their work. So, excuse me. So what they're going to be doing in there almost certainly is using a LiDAR scanner to create a 3D model of that porch. And then they can use that 3D model in combination with the surveillance footage that we've already seen. And they can take some very accurate measurements within that 3D space. Now, we also saw the scale, the height chart that was used. That would have been for an exemplar recording that they would have made by mounting an identical camera on the wall. We know that that camera was tampered with, it was removed, but they could mount an identical camera in the same space and use that camera to make some exemplar recordings with a scale exactly where this suspect was seen standing, and then they can overlay that scale on the surveillance video and get, again, a very accurate measurement of that suspect based on that height chart.
So, Teresa, you know, one of the big questions is obviously what is being held close to the vest. We still don't know how this individual got into the house. There, at least we haven't learned of a forced entry into the house, may exist. This is Eric O'Neill, a cybersecurity expert, talking about the potential that there's also audio that could be forensically pulled off of the video that was released the day before yesterday. Watch this.
I would bet that the FBI has audio related to that video that they haven't released. The only reason they wouldn't have it is if somehow the audio was separately corrupted from the video when they recovered that video. that particular Ring camera has a battery, it's very possible that as that criminal carried the Ring camera with him, it recorded additional audio after he ripped it off the wall.
Teresa, your take on where this investigation likely is right now, based on all the input we just put out there today?
Yeah, so there's probably still a lot of information that law enforcement is not sharing with the public because they don't want to tip their hand to the abductors who did this. But it is interesting with the recovered video, there may also be recovered audio, more recovered video that hasn't been shared with the public. What we see could help the public identify. And then, of course, they could be on site right now, like my fellow panelists said, sort of recreating some of the events. They could be using AI to enhance the imagery that we see. I used AI on my own, just sort of looking at, could I unmask the person? How could you match up the eyes with other eyes? And so a lot of that work might be being done while that tent is there, to sort of give the investigative team not only time to get more forensic evidence, but to also do some experiments and some testing without the public being able to see it, because we don't want to tip our hands to the abductors.
Teresa, real quick, would you expect that we will see a sketch? I mean, my whole life, whenever there's been a manhunt for an individual like this, eventually you get some sort of picture of what they've put together.
Yeah, what I would expect to see in an investigation like this, especially with AI, we will probably have traditional police sketch artists do person of interest sketches. And it would be interesting to also allow AI to do that and give the public the caveat that AI does hallucinate, AI does get it wrong, but to offer as many images as possible to the public to see if we can identify who this person is so we can find Nancy.
Thank you all so much, Ren, Nick, and Teresa.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click.
One sec here. I'm just trying to find that part there where they're kind of showing here. Okay, there we go. Okay, so obviously, I'll make this bigger for 1 sec. So obviously to the right, we see where the garage is. Now, apparently, remember, Nancy was dropped off. What time was it? Was it 9:40? 9:40, whatever, 9:47, 9:40, something like that, 9:46, and then a couple minutes, right? So that's where the garage is anyway. Obviously, the front door, you can see that. And then to the left-hand side was the patio. My only thing is this, is that if it was the patio on the side, which I'm thinking prob not. And the reason I'm saying prob not is because once they released that crime scene and people were having the ability to walk around that yard, just like we saw Brian Entin do, I'm pretty sure that any of those YouTubers or news channels would have shown like a form of entry, considering it's on the front and off to the side. So I think that they probably likely would have seen, like, we would have heard, or pictures to be like, hey, but I feel like we would have heard someone that once they released the property and people were just kind of traipsing on it, I feel like we would have heard about that. Could be wrong, but I just feel like, you know how it is, right? When especially when the true crime sleuths get in there and stuff like that, I just feel like we would have heard. I'm just curious where people are at for this moment. Does anyone here still believe that the $6 million ransom perps are part of this case? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Just curious on that. Ooh, it's kind of cold. It's cold. I wish my husband has the window wide open pretty much. But I'm just curious what your guys' thoughts are. What did I say? What did I say now? 1 for... I asked you if anyone think 1 for yes, 2 for no. Okay, 2 was for no. Okay. Okay. Like I said, as the days are going by and things are kind of playing out, I think maybe we're getting a little bit perhaps better sense of certain things. I think myself, and I'm curious about you guys, but because again, there's so many situations depending on how you're looking at all this information. I feel like there's a possibility with email guy that he could actually know maybe some information about it. But I don't feel like the ransom people, I think there was just a bunch of leeches trying to siphon money off of a sad situation. And to me, they're probably freaking back down, or they might make another attempt and say, well, too late. Now we'll just take 3 million and we'll tell you where the body is, type of thing. But I could be wrong. This is just a guess of mine, but I'm thinking that doofus there that stuck flowers up to thing didn't know that there was the Ring doorbell camera, because he's probably not the smartest bulb in the world. I'm thinking that maybe someone that knows this property or works on this property basically said, hey, rich bitch alert, type of thing. And hey, you know what I mean? And basically maybe gave up the house, like someone passing on, like, oh yeah, like this lady Nancy Guthrie, her daughter's like a TV show host, type of thing. She got tons of money, great place to rob, great place to try to freaking burglarize, so just because obviously someone that actually knew the property, a worker on there, they would know that there's a Ring doorbell camera there. But somebody maybe who's a friend of a situation that knows of Nancy's property maybe said like, hey, I got a place for you to rob, like that you could burglarize. I don't feel like this was some sick sexual twisted thing going on here. I think that, I don't know, maybe they didn't realize the person was home, or maybe they did, and their intent was to burglarize, and it turned out to be worse. And of course, something happened there where, obviously blood's coming out. I wouldn't doubt it if the vehicle would be off to the right-hand side. If it's more of a burglary, I'm kind of thinking couple people here. One to sit there and get in, the other one to maybe open it up or something. I don't know. I feel like this was like more like a burglary gone wrong. And once I take the ransom shit out of there, because that was confusing. And that's why I think that doofus in the front there probably didn't have the knowledge of this home per se, or, about the camera on the front. I don't know. I feel like this is more of a burglary gone wrong that turned, because again, really depends on who the people are, but I feel like I don't know. I just feel like it's more like that. Let's see. There's a strong possibility they meant to keep her alive and had meds, and she had a heart attack. Imagine being 84. Well, if she had a heart attack, though, how does that equate to the blood? If it was just the fact that, yeah, she had this heart attack, I don't know. Maybe it was a situation where, I don't know, does she have a vault or, some sort of safe in her home? I just feel, I don't know. I just feel like it's more of a burglary thing gone wrong than anything. Just the more I see it play out. I don't think Tomato Guy has anything to do with this, to be honest, unless Tomato Guy, unless that Dominic guy has anything to do with it, perhaps. But even Dominic, yeah, okay, in his younger days. But when you see the older pictures of him and stuff like that, I don't think he's the perp. Like if it was based on the old picture, but he's not. He's a lot older. His mustache is gray and stuff like that. So yeah, no, I feel like it's I don't know. I want to say like, I would still want to say Latino, ethnicity of the person that's on that camera. And 5'9", 5'10", yeah, kind of like heavier set, but not very tall. My brother's 5'9", I think. My son's 5'9", actually. So, yeah. Yeah. Also, has anyone heard if she's missing items? Well, that's the thing. We won't know that, right? We won't know that. And I really think that those $6 million ransom people used information that was already a given of information, in a sense, meaning the Apple Watch, right? They could see her in any picture, Google that. Hey, make a claim about the Apple Watch. Same thing with the floodlights. Well, tell us something. There was no proof of life. Yeah, that whole thing just doesn't make sense for people that want to kidnap somebody, get money, and basically fuck off with it. It'd be highly stressful for a heart condition. If it was a burglar, there would be no need to take Nancy, as she couldn't see who it was due to the mask. Maybe. Burglarized, they didn't take a thing, only the Nest camera, Google. Yeah, but we don't know that. Like, how could you even make that statement, Kim, without we're not privy to if stuff was stolen from inside the house. So we don't know that whatsoever. We only get the tidbits of information, which is like a freaking droplet of what they have and what they know and what was inside and stuff like that. Right? At this point, if it was me, I would probably be hoping to die. You know, when you're sick, when you're begged for to sleep or die because you can't. Yeah, I get you. Okay. How many times when I've been sick of it, I'm like, oh my God, I'd rather be dead. The fear alone would be too much. Maybe she was taken because with a struggle, Nancy pulled off his mask and could identify him. Maybe. Genuine question. The guy's backpack was stuffed. I know. Well, I know. That's what's so strange. And that's what made me think at first, like, no, he's like some freaking, typical burglar type of thing. But he did have maybe he was freaking burglarizing other homes along the way until he came to that house. But remember, there's the one picture where he doesn't know. We don't know where that one came in. Was it the first time? And meaning they only gave us that little look, right? So the one where he's standing there in front of the door, like off, still in the sidewalk area, and he doesn't have the backpack on, and he doesn't have the gun thing showing. Was that before or after the first one, right? So that's kind of strange. You would think it would be first for some reason. But yeah, so it's those oddities, because that was a very stuffed backpack. But I don't think it was an R kit. Right, possibly. How much does Dominic weigh? Not sure. I don't know that answer. You're gonna have to maybe go find him on some dating site or something. I don't know. Maybe he's a married man. I don't know. If you look at what I sent you, I'm not watching that chick. I'm not watching her. You couldn't pay me enough to watch her. It could be. It's not Tommaso. Well, that's just it, right? I mean, but the old picture of Dominic, right? The newer pictures doesn't make sense to the person we're seeing. So I'm going to even ixnay him out of that one, to be honest. I'm taking Tomato Man out of the equation. I'm taking Dominic out of the equation. Because I think more I myself think more that perhaps it's somebody that knows, like that somebody that knows and said that there's a rich chick that lives over here or whatever like that, or it's like some sort of insider thing. And that's why I feel like the guy didn't know that there was a camera there. Whereas people that worked on the property would have known that, but it could have been passed on information. You know how it is? Like, yeah, the home I work at is, blah, 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 blah. And that gave that friend or acquaintance, well, let me go check that out. Or a couple of people. When you watch that video, it just makes you feel like it's like watching a Dumb and Dumber thing. And I really don't feel like I think that obviously there's layers of gloves and layers of clothes perhaps and stuff like that. And this person's truly thinking that they've covered their tracks and all that. But I still don't think that that person is the brightest bulbs in the world for sure. And lots of times we see cases where, especially depending on the fuck ups of the case, if somebody maybe gets away for a while, but I don't feel like this person or persons are going to get away with it for that long. I think that once they start looking into, again, Walmart purchases or something like that, I think that there's going to be a time here soon where the perpetrator will be caught, or perpetrators, and it's just a matter of just some time needed. And I think a lot of it, I think part of it too is, I think it's just all in all a bunch of, what we would call fuck ups, or what looks to us as we got, what they're saying. Actually, I'll play that clip actually now. Stop screen, share screen. Was it this one? Where was it? No, was it this one? Was it? Oh yeah, it was this one. I did have it right. Okay, it is this one. Might as well hit the like if we're going to use it, eh? Okay.
Sheriff's forensics teams in Tucson searching the side of the road near Nancy Guthrie's home. This is the very new stuff now. This, as sources confirm, the FBI is processing a set of gloves found about 1.5 miles from her house. Lieutenant Randy Sutton joins us now. He served 24 years with the Las Vegas Metropolitan PD. He joins us live outside the Pima County Sheriff's Office in Tucson. Randy, your take on what they're looking for that would prompt them to go there at night. What could you maybe infer from this?
Well, in a sense, it shows how desperate they are to literally turn over every stone on this investigation. They are looking for anything. And the reality is that this is very difficult terrain. When you're looking at the wide scope of this search, I mean, it encompasses miles and miles, and with the hope that they will be able to recover something that might have been discarded. Now, I caution about the enthusiasm that has arisen from the discovery of these gloves. Is it possible that they're involved? Sure, and they will diligently, the FBI will diligently examine those for DNA and any possibility. They'll be comparing the material from enhanced photographic images that they recover from the video. They'll do anything to either confirm that those possibly might be the gloves, or that this is a non-starter.
Right. Some people have said those gloves, the ones we saw in the video, that might be the ones we found on the ground. They found on the ground, are from the food service business. That might be somebody that works in some type of area where you need the thickness of those like thermal gloves. How do you feel about that?
Well, I personally believe that those gloves were easily found in any Home Depot or Lowe's, and they are used for plumbing work and things like that. Okay. And that there was a set of gloves underneath that. That's my belief.
That's why you would have the thicker gloves. So the sheriff hasn't spoken to us in a while. We get updates just by piecing together different reports and clues and trying to do our own sourcing. How do you think this is working with the FBI and sheriff, the coordination, the leadership? How is it viewed inside from your contacts?
Now, that's a great question, because this is something that's concerned me from the very beginning. Of course, following this case from the outset, beginning when the sheriff did give his press conferences, the way he gave these press conferences was startling. It was unprofessional. He seemed to be out of his depth, quite honestly. He gave information and he walked back information, and he said this, he said that. Clearly under his leadership, the scene was not secured properly. We are now understanding that the FBI wasn't called in until several days later, that the scene itself was compromised. This is bad leadership. And I can tell you this, that I've been on the ground here for like 10 days now, and I've got pretty good sources in the area when it comes down to how this sheriff is viewed. And he is viewed as a vindictive sheriff, that he has in actuality gotten rid of some of his most experienced people, including on the homicide team. The homicide team here is they don't get that much experience, because I think last year there were only 5 murders as opposed to Tucson, which had like 50. So to be a homicide detective requires a great deal of time and education, but experience. Well, he got rid of his most experienced because he had disciplinary problems or personal problems with them. Same thing with the pilot of the airplane that needed to be up immediately in the search and rescue. He got rid of the pilot and assigned him back to another assignment. He was their pilot. And in all reality, he is not viewed as an effective leader. He's viewed as a vindictive leader. And we're seeing that, I believe, because he hasn't given a press conference since all of the criticism that arose from his other press conferences. And this is bad leadership. The people have a right to have some transparency. Yes. Of course, you don't want to give up the leads or anything, but the people have a right to have some confidence in the law enforcement area here.
I keep going back to John Ramsey told me on Sunday, one of his big regrets was now pushing harder to get the FBI more involved early. He just acquiesced and said, do your thing. He says, and he really regrets not doing that. And we know the death of his daughter was in his own house. Lastly, if there was a Guthrie getaway vehicle, was it caught on a traffic camera anywhere after you saw the doorway video? Do you think, what would you be looking for there? Could that be possible?
Yeah, it is possible. And I think that's why they're looking at every single ounce of video that they can obtain from security cameras in convenience stores to the whatever is out there officially in the government, poll cams and things like that. So they're looking for anything that could possibly be have been utilized as a getaway vehicle. And I fully believe that it is out there. He didn't drag that woman out of there and carry her off to Never Land. There's a vehicle involved.
Right. The city of Tucson does not have cameras that record moving vehicles. So it's unfortunate. Some people might like that, but doesn't help here. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
So that's it's like not the first guy. Remember the guy Brian Entin was talking to as well about this Sheriff Nano, probably has the, small D syndrome or something, big mouth, small D. I'm gonna watch this one that came out recently.
News at night. Trace. And Jesse, I want to start with a little breaking news. A high-level source of the FBI has just confirmed to me that the Pima County Sheriff's Department has blocked key evidence to the FBI. We're talking about a glove found inside Nancy Guthrie's house, along with some DNA. The FBI wanted that evidence so they could take it, analyze it themselves, send it to Quantico to get some faster return. The Sheriff's Department decided to keep that evidence and send it to a private analyst firm in Florida. So clearly that is not going to help the relationship here between the FBI and the Pima County Sheriff, which we know in the early going has been tense at best. You talked about this 2-mile radius. We're talking video, right? Not only is it just a 2-mile radius, but they're now very specific in telling the people who live in the Catalina foothills that what they want here is they want cars that are parked. They want video of cars driving by, people walking by. Anything that seems to be out of the ordinary, they would like that. And they've actually widened the window. You were talking about specific dates, February 1st and January 11th. Now they want video, Jesse, from January 1st to February 2nd, which is interesting because Feb 2nd is a day after Nancy Guthrie disappeared. They would like video like you talked about, where the TMZ video that came to them with a man who had backpacks and looked like he was trying to open a fence and set one backpack down. Reports are that evidence, that person has been cleared, but that is the type of unusual, odd video that the FBI would love to be able to go over because they think it is very pivotal. We spoke to some neighbors around here, and the neighbors tell us, Jesse, that what they were asked for is actually to give the FBI, to give the county sheriffs some idea of the cars that they own, the cars that they drive. It's kind of, you know, the process of elimination, so they can get an idea of what cars are driving in and out of this area all the time and what cars are not known to be driving in and out of this area all the time. So we should kind of give you an idea of, you know, the time frame. We were hoping that we'd have more information on video that came from inside the house, around the side of the house, the back of the house. We believe, the FBI believes, there is more video available. The question is, when will we get a chance to see anything that might have come out of that, pulling that information from the cloud? Jesse.
Trace, you mentioned the glove that I guess there's a turf war over between the sheriff and the FBI. Was that the glove that was found on the side of the road, or are you talking about a different glove?
It's a different glove. This is a glove that was actually inside the house of Nancy Guthrie. We don't know who the glove belonged to. We don't know if it was a random glove, but there was a glove inside the house that is now being analyzed at a private firm in Florida, and the FBI wanted that glove to be analyzed at Quantico in Virginia. So DNA inside the house and a glove unknown who it belongs to or what the context is on the glove, but a glove that was also inside the house, Jesse.
All right, Trace, thank you.
Okay, so yeah, no, it's just going to be the lighting or something in here. Yeah, but if they look rosy, so be it. Anyways, all right, enough of looking at myself in my own camera. Yeah, what that's okay. See, so this goes along with what the footage was before about basically saying that Nanos probably is freaking ego, right? So like FBI, I mean, I just don't understand this, because the FBI, to me, I'm sorry, but it's so much better to have the FBI in there than to have these Keystone cops that don't even really get that much crime in there. And that's just showing a power of control or something to me, in my eyes again. I would rather have the FBI send it off to where they want it to go than to have little Nano there do his little power trip. And, you know, so yeah, does that break relations? Like, if I could have the FBI, you know, on every case, and I know I'm from Canada, we don't have the FBI here, I don't care. But I mean, I watch mostly American shit anyway, so I feel like I'm like at least 3/4 American sometimes. But anyways, it's like, yeah, it's just astounding when shit like that happens. Like, I'm sure he's gonna justify his reasons, but honestly, like I said, like, you're gonna literally hold back key evidence and go, yeah, you know what? No, sorry. You know, like, it just blows me away. Yeah, absolutely. The FBI, like, we've already heard about the rooks that mostly work, you know, because they got rid of most of the experienced homicide detectives and all that stuff, you know, the plane, the pilot and all that stuff. And then, so this is just kind of going along, I think, with what, you know, these are retired homicide detectives and stuff like that, you know, are saying when it comes to like little Nano there, freaking little Nano. But anyways, it's like, yeah, I like, I'd rather have the FBI any day that have way more experience. I don't get that. Right, absolutely. And again, and this is like a lot what happened in the Delphi case, right? It became about egos and control, and and like for instance with the Delphi case, right? Anyone knows about the Delphi murders of Abby and Libby, and again, it was all about control. Like the Dick Fox in Delphi there, right? They left the sticks behind. So, meaning the girls' lives were taken, we'll just put it that way. And there was sticks, right, across their necks where they were sliced. And, and then they had them in some, I don't know, it was almost like someone just tossing on sticks, trying to make it look like a ritual thing or something like that. But anyways, they took the sticks off the girls and didn't even take them in as evidence. They literally had to go back, like the next day or a couple days later to go get the sticks. Now, who would think that DNA, blood on sticks, and you would just, let me just take off the sticks and throw into that. That's literally what they did, right? They called off the dogs in Delphi case, right? Dogs were on their way. They called them off. Delphi, yeah, we got this, right? Then they started butting heads about control and egos and all that shit, which caused a bunch of controversy within the case. And then it didn't become about the girls so much as it became about the political bullshit of it all. And it's just like this. Like, again, like you're talking about I'm just going to say this loosely. You're talking about Hickville area versus FBI, who has an amazing team of people with experience and I'm sure could get the job done faster. And they sit there and try to block them because what little nano? Because your ego? Because you think that, like that you're like, I guess if they're the leads, probably, I think that it's that Pima is still like the lead and that the FBI is assisting. But it's shit like that. Like, you don't think that people are going to be a little bit miffed about stuff like that. So you got people that have only been there a few years, don't really know, it's like apples to oranges. Little county FBI comes in, right? I mean, look what happened up until, in a sense, I know FBI and that they're looking at the guy and it's the wrong guy, let him go, Carlo. But I mean, at the end of the day, if I'm gonna sit there and pick, I'm going to choose FBI, to sit there and release, I don't know. It just seems like a joke to me. I don't get it. It's ridiculous. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I've never been more happy than I am. My mom's alive, a caregiver, because I would fight to the end for her. Well, absolutely. Yeah, well, I mean, it's just showing based on what the other people have been saying the last couple of days about, his vindictiveness and his, ego tripping and stuff like that, So, and that's where you cause those rifts, right? Are you there to cause rifts? Are you there, to work together? But like, I'm sure that there's a justifiable reason to him. But like I said, I'd rather just FBI take over, let them sit on the fucking side bench of it all and just let FBI take over the case in a perfect world. What else we got? I'm trying to look at some things that have come out. Not sure who Roberta Davis is, so I don't really want to play that one. News Nation. Maybe we'll
clearly from the same person who.
Let's maybe we'll just watch this one as well. I need a hot chocolate. Husband. I need a hot chocolate. Let's watch. Seriously. Titties are gonna fall off if it keeps getting this cold in here. It's because my husband has the window open and I'm too lazy to get up and close it. Okay, let's see here.
Emailed us yesterday, has the same Bitcoin account. clearly from the same person who emailed us yesterday, has the same Bitcoin account attached to it, saying, complaining really that they're not being taken seriously because they did not get the Bitcoin they had requested in order to give up the identity and location of Nancy's captors. And they said that this will be the last time they reach out. They said they need the Bitcoin. It's interesting. They offered sort of an explanation why they want this Bitcoin. They said that they're going to need to lay low. There's an insinuation that that there may be some retribution for giving up the location and the identity of the kidnapper. And they also said that they didn't want to end up incriminated like Carlos. Carlos is the delivery man who was briefly detained as a person of interest the other night and then released when police realized he had nothing to do with this. So he's watching, whoever sent this is watching the news and very clearly does not want to get too close to law enforcement and doesn't want to be seen as someone who's involved in the kidnapping at all, just that for some reason they claim to have information about who did it.
And this came in the same way that yesterday's came in and that the ransom note came in last week, which was through your tip line.
Yes, correct.
And it's so interesting. He actually referenced the man who was detained on Tuesday night for several hours for questioning and then was ultimately released. But was called, apparently it was called in an anonymous tip because he resembled the man in this door cam video.
Yeah, which might, explain where, as they said, they don't want to end up like Carlos. Maybe they don't want their face. They don't want to have a face-to-face with law enforcement. They want to do this just electronically. And you understand why law enforcement might have some hesitation with that. There's nothing here solid for them to say this person really does have the information they claim to have. What's interesting is that they're asking for one Bitcoin, which, as we mentioned, is about $66,000. But since then, the reward has gone up to $100,000. So, I don't know if the police, if they up the reward for that reason, because maybe that draws this person out. If they really want the money, you can get more than one Bitcoin now if you come forward with this information.
And to be clear, the note today and the note yesterday contained absolutely no information to prove that they actually know who the kidnapper is.
Nothing at all. I will say this one thing, that there's a sentence in the email today that is, for lack of a better word, I'd say kind of ominous. I can't really say anything more than that. As I mentioned, we have forwarded this to the FBI, and just out of respect for their investigation, we are not revealing some of the details of a lot of the details of this email, but we're really just trying to describe the tone of it. So they're frustrated and maybe even a little upset that they have not gotten the Bitcoin that they requested.
Ominous as in threatening in some way?
Not threatening, but ominous as in how this is all potentially going to end.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download.
So, I mean, I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to understand that that ominous part is going to be about Nancy, and like her life is looking really bleak, if like perhaps like this emailer is like going to be the savior, and if he doesn't get that, that they're losing vital information and Nancy's life is going to be even bleaker. You could tell because the way Harvey talked about it earlier, the way this guy's talking about it, ominous. And I just seen a title of another one, but I'm not going to play it because I don't know who that person is with Harvey on there. But I mean, I think what was the title of it? If I can see what the title said. It said, new Nancy Guthrie email paints a bleak picture for her future. Right. If you believe she's alive. Does anyone like in all your heart of hearts, do you guys believe that Nancy is alive? 1 for yes, 2 for no. see where you guys are at with this. Yeah. Well, now that, now that Doofus says that he has information and a Bitcoin or whatever, but then he's painting this picture probably of like Nancy's life hangs in your balance. 1 for yes, 2 for no. I don't think Nancy's alive. I don't think Nancy's alive. I don't. If she is, be a miracle. Tinker, I pray. On there. All right. What time is it? 1:45. 1 hour 45. Okay. I'm getting cold. I'm going to go make a hot chocolate. I'm going to head off now, guys. With this, let me just look at that poll quickly here. So do you think that the new email to TMZ is making the parasite seem more legit with knowledge? Yes, I smell a ring of truth, 11%. Toss up, can't decide, 41%. Nope, still a parasite with no info, 40%. So basically a toss up and no, basically no info. No ransom emails are legit, 8%. I wonder if I worded that one wrong, but whatever. I believe in miracles. Well, in all honesty, like, yeah, we would love a miracle for Nancy and all this. Karn, too darn milkshake on there. Just gotta think the window's open, but I want to go. My husband wants to go change the fuse on our vehicle, so I'm probably going to go downstairs and watch him do that. Note the word watch on there. Hi, Hoosier. But anyways, you guys, I'm sure you guys too, today's been a bunch of information. I guess maybe there's that one video that Charmaine shared. I should just with Brian Entin. What did Charmaine send? Oh, hey, hold on. Because I love this guy. Oh, the fort. Oh, we ain't going anywhere. We're going to watch some Aphrodite. Thanks, Charmaine. Okay, I love Aphrodite, okay? And you guys, I don't care if you guys aren't into like a medium, but Aphrodite, I love this guy. Let's see what he has to say. He's one of the few ones that I truly, truly enjoy watching. Share screen. So come on, stick with me. Let's let the Lord work in mysterious ways. All right, here. Aphrodite. If you guys don't know who he is, here, actually, let me put down his channel out there. I really like this dude. He's a nice guy. Okay. If you guys don't know who he is, wow, stick around and watch him. He's actually quite good. So anyway, suck it up. Stay with me and watch, all right? Okay, even if it's not your thing. If it goes against your religion, too bad. You're going to watch it anyway with us. All right? Okay? Where is it? Where is it? Now I got to find it. I think it's here. Yeah. Videos. Go back to videos. Okay. Hello.
Back to you again with another true crime reading. This time, I'm sure you guys have seen the news.
Who's
Savannah Guthrie's mom, Nancy, is missing. They suspect a kidnapping. There was allegedly a ransom note, and everyone's trying to figure out what's going on. Savannah has posted a video saying they are in desperate hours, and if anybody can help, they're willing to look at anything or try to find any sort of lead. I figured this would be a good time for me to see if I can help. I do have a lot of videos where I've done true crime stuff, some on active cases, some on cold cases. It is the most challenging. It is the most difficult. There's no promise that I'm going to get anything really, really intense, but I figured I should try if I can. You guys have been spamming me for over a week to do this, and you guys are right. I need to try. So I don't want to let anybody down. It is a lot of pressure, but I'm going to try my best. So no promises. Don't be too mad at me if I don't get too much information, but I am going to do my absolute best to see if I can figure out what happened, or at least maybe find some sort of detail or piece of evidence or direction or anything. So remember, these readings all are different timbers only, and let's just get started. Okay, so let's look at Nancy. That is the Six of Wands reversed. What happened? Queen of Cups. Okay, multiple people. Two of Swords. Why? Separation. Okay, well, someone was definitely targeting someone else, or if they did target Nancy, their goal was to rile up someone else. So I don't know if they went in trying to, or thinking that they were going to get somebody else, or they were also going to get someone in addition to Nancy, or if getting Nancy was to get under someone else's skin. Because we do have the Queen of Cups here and the Two of Swords. So to me, there's someone else. There's someone else. The Queen of Cups is an additional target, or the target. Again, it's going to be difficult to discern that without obviously a lot of information and investigation, because the Six of Wands is about ego and pride, and it's reversed. So when you look at the Six of Wands, you think of that as something that's bright, that's big, that's bold, that's beautiful. And when it's reversed, it's the opposite. So why would someone who's been kidnapped be the Six of Wands reversed, unless it was, look at it as like, the only way I would interpret that, and I've been doing true crime readings for years, the way I would interpret that is that either you weren't the target, you were a distraction, or like, and when I say you weren't a target, it could be like, oh, they wanted someone else and they got her, or it could be that she is leveraged to someone else. Does that make sense? So this is definitely a lot more calculated than anybody is thinking. Let's keep going. Okay, we have the Two of Wands reversed. Interesting that the Nine of Wands is reversed. Walking on eggshells. Two of Pentacles. There's someone connected to Nancy. I don't know if it's a family member or worker, whatever. I don't know. But the Two of Wands and the Nine of Wands is like walking eggshells and afraid that something's going to happen to me. Someone surrounding this was either threatened or afraid of someone retaliating or doing something against them. This is something that I feel like has been going on for a while. Because when you look at the Nine of Wands and the Two of Pentacles, that's like, yeah, okay, you can read it as like a bad business exchange, or someone owes me something or money, whatever. But in this instance, specifically what I'm looking at here is the Two of Wands and the Two of Pentacles. So that's about like, think of it like an exchange between two people, but then the Two of Wands is it not happening. And the Nine of Wands is like making someone anxious, because you're like, oh my God, I'm walking on eggshells. Are they going to be here? Are they going to be there? Think of it like if someone was abusive and you were afraid if they were going to show up at your house and do something, or someone consistently gave empty threats and then they finally followed through on one of their threats, even though they've been, sort of making empty threats for a while, or, it's like the boy who cried wolf syndrome kind of like. So to me, there has to be some aspect of this where someone was afraid of someone and nothing ever happened until it did. Okay, we have the Temperance card reverse. Interesting, that's impatience and imbalance. Devil card. And then the Knight of Wands. I just can't shake the feeling that Nancy wasn't the goal. Almost like Nancy was collateral. Like, if I can't get what I want, I'll just use Nancy. What? Now, this is going to be easier to decipher what I'm seeing once we start getting more information about what actually happened. Once we get all that stuff, I can revisit this reading and kind of decipher this a little bit better. If anyone's interested in that, it's something I could do, because I'm confused. Because let me tell you what that means. So the Devil card is manipulation. Think of it like blackmail or physical force to get what you want, whatever. And then the Temperance card is impatience and imbalance. So you had to do something you didn't want to do. And then the Knight of Wands is about immature actions or premature actions, almost as if this was like, what I'm seeing in my mind's eye is like bullets in a chamber, like someone playing a game of chicken or someone playing a game of Russian roulette. It's like bullets in the chamber and I'm pulling and nothing's coming out. So I have to make a decision. It's weird. It's like warning shots, or it's like warning shots and playing with fire. I don't understand this. 8 of Pentacles is upright. 9 of Swords. See what I mean by making people stressed out? 9 of Swords is stress and anxiety again. And the Ace of Pentacles is about money or opportunity. So it's like, oh, this is a great opportunity. And the 8 of Pentacles worked hard. Do they own something? Does someone have something that's of someone's or own something? Did someone purchase something, get ownership of something? Whether it be a thing or a land or something. Did someone get ownership of business? There's some business or something. I can't figure this out. There's like a physical ownership of something that's mine. Give it back. Like, that's mine. Give me what I'm looking for. That's mine. I really don't know if I believe that, and maybe I'm wrong, and I'm open to being wrong, but it doesn't feel like it was just like, oh, we're targeting these people for money. If that's the case, there's something deeper that hopefully they figure out, because, like, I don't know. There's like, Devil card is revenge. It's a revenge plot. It's spite work. Devil card is spite work. It's personal. Devil card is like, I'm going to get even. That's why I'm like, this doesn't make sense to me with the information we've been provided. But, you know, obviously we don't have everything. And one of the goals here is to shake the shit out of someone involved. I'm assuming that it could be someone in the family that they're trying to shake the shit out of. Again, we go back to the Queen of Cups. I guess that's a potential water sign, but it doesn't really necessarily mean that, because the cups are emotions, is a very emotional thing. So for me, it's like, I want to shake the shit out of them. I want them scared. Like, my goal is to terrify you. It's not Nancy, though. It's someone related to Nancy, or whether it be like blood related or like maybe lived in the house or worked for her. I don't know what, I don't know what was going on. Somewhat connected to Nancy. And then the Page of Swords is there too, with the Page of Cups and the Justice card, which says that part of this was also to gain the public. So I don't really understand that, because Justice card says that it's like if someone was like, yeah, I'm aware that at some point the law is going to get involved. Oh, they're in too deep. Are we sure that it was a planned kidnapping and not just, I'm going there for someone? Did Nancy live alone? How sure are we that Nancy was the specific target? Because now I'm thinking, is it possible that they went there to harass or attack someone else and took Nancy as like collateral or whatever? Is that possible? Because I just can't shake the feeling of the Justice card being like, fuck, this is deeper than I thought it was going to be. So when I say that, it's hard for me to assume, and I could be wrong, but that energy is someone who's like, I'm committing a crime, but I don't want to commit that crime. So logically, when I decipher that, I'm thinking, okay, did you go to rob someone or scare someone or attack someone different, and then you ended up getting Nancy? Is it full-blown mistaken identity or not? Is it that you meant to attack someone or scare someone, but then you ended up kidnapping them and you don't really know what you're doing when you kidnap someone? Could that be what it is? Because I do think that they said that the kidnapping is not like, I don't think it's been like a normal kidnapping. Is it possible that like that wasn't the initial goal? The kidnapping wasn't the initial goal? And that just ended up being a byproduct of what was happening. I mean, there's a lot of ways that could go. I mean, that could even mean that like she was taken and then something happened and then discarded or hid or something. You know, it's difficult to discern what that is. But what I can tell you at its core, and hopefully we figure this out, you know, through the investigation and law enforcement, figure that. But at its core, to me, I read that as the crime that they went there to commit is not the crime that was committed. So the intended crime was less than what the crime is now, and now they're in over their heads, which is why it's weird. Because I see someone panicked, like, fuck. And Justice Card says that they knew that there would be some aspect of publicism of the public being involved, but not this level. So that means that, like, think of it like they expected there to be some stuff on the internet or news, but not world FBI. You know what I mean? So they're shitting in their pants because of that. Judgment card, 9 of Pentacles, and 6 of Pentacles. See, that's the plan. The 6 of Pentacles is the plan. There's a Judgment card, which is the public. This is already what I said. I didn't even need to pull the card to this part because it's exactly what I said. Just confirms what I said when it comes to like this person is a bit in over their head or people. And the 9 of Pentacles is interesting because the 9 of Pentacles is once again about an individual. I really wish we had more information so I could decipher this because I'm like, they're like, Nancy's not the main focus or the target. So why was she taken? I can't figure that out. And I guess I'm not going to until we really understand what happened. But it's like I don't think they went in there for Nancy initially. And if they did, it was to get at someone else. I keep pulling all these queens. There's a lot of feminine energy here, which means someone is the focus. Wheel of Fortune is reversed. 5 of Swords. See, 5 of Swords is pettiness, but it's a personal, spiteful vendetta. But then you look at this, it's also about missing details. So if someone else was supposed to be home, but you got the wrong home, or you got the wrong home, or you got the wrong person because the time period of when they were supposed to be home is different. And the Wheel of Fortune is reversed too, which is bad luck. It's almost like if you were like, oh, fuck, I don't know how to describe this. It's almost like if you had twins and you got the wrong twin. So I'm trying to decipher what the hell that means because I'm just seeing like, oop, I have the wrong twin. What the fuck does that mean? It's like I'm in Scooby-Doo and I'm unmasking the person and I'm like, wait, this is not the right person. Or wait, this isn't the right way we wanted to do this. So like, I think that's why this case is confusing because something pivoted or shifted once the attack happened. It's like if I broke into your house and I was like, oh, there's my shit. Wait, my shit is missing. Oh, well, the mother's there. You can't have a witness. So you end up doing something to the mother because you had a witness and you can't have a witness. It's like that. But I'm not sure if that's what the case is or if the case is they went for Nancy to get at someone else. And that's why there's a like, oh shit, we're over our heads because we didn't expect it to go this far. I can't figure out which of the two it is. And I guess it also could be something different that I'm not interpreting correctly. So please don't be too mad at me. I'm really genuinely trying to understand what I'm seeing. But this is hard because what I am pretty sure of is that I don't think that this was the initial plan. There's something about the mom. There's something about Nancy. Like, it's like she opened a door she shouldn't open, or was somewhere she shouldn't have been, or something went wrong, whether someone got hurt or something. I can't figure it out. I also think that this person knows that, like, this isn't going to work. Look at the Ace of Swords. Regrets, High Priestess, breaking of trust. So somebody handed over information to accidentally. I don't know. I mean, it could be like someone reverse social engineering someone's phone number or something, you know, or address or something. So it doesn't mean it was like malicious, but there was definitely phishing for information from trusted sources around Nancy and the family. But the 10 of Pentacles is interesting because the 10 of Pentacles is about long-term goals, money, right? But the Ace of Swords is regrets. So it's almost like they don't really know what to do. It's like if a criminal didn't know what to do now. So they're screwed. They're like screwed. They're like, what do I do? Like this right here is like, what do? I don't know what to do. I probably should have turned a light on over here because it's probably darker. Oh, well, it's too late now. Sorry, guys, if this is really dark. Although maybe it adds to the ambiance. I don't know. My bad. I did not realize that, and I'm kind of locked in right now. But 10 of Pentacles, here's the thing. It's almost like they're bluffing a little bit because they don't know what they're doing. The World's upright, the Six of Cups. I can tell you this. Something in somebody's past. I mean, I guess it could be related to someone's marriage or wedding, technically, sibling too at Six of Cups. But there's something related to someone's past that is the key to this, because the World is unfinished business that you were detached from and thought you escaped, but you didn't escape because you owe the person always comes to claim their bounty, so to speak, right? Like their bet, you owe this, there's always someone who's claiming. That's what that means. So it's like someone here was waiting for an opportunity, but then went in over their head. That's honestly the best I can do. I'm sorry. I really, really tried. I'm also trying to be super respectful. I do know that as of me doing this, they do have a alleged suspect on camera. But I'm telling you, whoever did this was trying to get at someone else. They were trying to piss someone else off or get at someone else. There's a personal vendetta involved in this. Something is personal. I can't figure out where that is though. I just can't. I don't know. There's no way it was like they got, I don't know. I've already said the scenarios that I see. And so we'll see what ends up happening. I love you guys. I really tried. So I'm so sorry if this video sucks. And if I didn't give you much information, I'm like, this is hard. And like, I went into this thinking like, oh, we'll be able to kind of figure out a suspect or whatever. And then I came out like, what the fuck is this? This is not how I thought this was going to go at all. Literally at all. So yeah. Also, please don't like point fingers or accuse anyone of anything. Let's just see how this plays out. And hopefully she's found safe.
Okay, we'll leave that at that. That was Aphrodite. I'll drop the link one more time. He's a good guy. I always kind of liked, what I feel like is someone just talking from their heart, and no bullshit about it. Maybe there's takeaways. The one thing I like about listening to certain people is always if it can help me think of something else that I maybe didn't think of and stuff like that. But if there's one thing I do feel like for sure that I've thought about was the oh shit, I'm way in over my head type of shit going on. Like this turned out like some of these things, right? They don't realize the extent of a nation grasping a story and stuff like that. And they're like, oh shit, what did I get myself into? Is it possibility? Someone supposed to stay overnight. No daddy, but why take her? It's way more work. Well, I guess again, it really depends how you think. Was this some sort of vendetta? And it kind of went different than it was supposed to kind of go, and now it's like, oh shit. So I don't know. The story keeps changing all the time, really, with the information that we keep getting, but the truth will come out. The truth will prevail. And you hope that for any of the cases of the missing and the murdered, for sure, and stuff like that. Anyways, oh, Pretty Star, I didn't see this. I'm so sorry. I don't recall seeing that earlier. So thank you so much. My bad. Sometimes I must have been, maybe I was doing something. Didn't recall seeing that, but now I do. Thank you, Miss Dog Lover, for your $4.99 super chat as well. Miss Dog Lover has been a member for 41 months. Yeah, well, you know what? This story, it really just keeps. It's like, it's crazy. It's bizarre. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that once they start really, getting some information back with again looking into, because it's not going to happen overnight, right? If they're kind of at a clueless, like I said, maybe they'll get their break by finding out the person that purchased that knapsack, perhaps at a Walmart, or another store that carries the Ozark, stuff like that. And because it's probably somebody within that area and stuff. But anyways, this case daily keeps having different, stuff going on with it. At the end of the day, poor Nancy, poor Nancy. That's what it boils down to. Poor Nancy. And obviously there's blood of Nancy's. That's obviously been confirmed that was Nancy's, outside, out front there and stuff like that. But what happened to Nancy? Is Nancy still alive? Is she not still alive? Yeah. The ransom people, no. But I am curious why they keep going back and forth to Annie's house all the time. I'm really curious about that. Yeah, first 48, it's been 11 days. Well, you know what? As long as sad as this is to say, as long as like Jack and Lily, even though I don't believe Jack and Lily are alive, that's a Canadian case. If you're not following it, another puzzle piece, one for Jack and Lily. But as long as families get answers, because the thing that always hurts the most is when you don't know. And in this particular case with Nancy, honestly, her family is going to be hoping for the best, or at least if there's no involvement of those ones. But just in general, her family is, going through that nightmare that people go through when they just don't know, and then as cases go on, it starts more becoming about just, just wanting answers at least, Yeah, that's what's strange about all this, right? So, like, that's where you kind of go back to, is this a personal thing with this? I know. It's just that it's like a yo-yo, right? Back and forth, back and forth. But like, why are you checking all around Annie's neighborhood? Like, what are you checking for there? That doesn't come across as, it doesn't just come across as, oh, well, we just drove her home. And it comes across as that there's more to that about looking over in that area, right? It just comes across like, well, sorry, put tea on there. Comes across as like, yeah, like we're not seeing anything here with Tomato and Annie, but we keep looking over here. And they're obviously looking over there for a reason, and it's not just, just to have chats all the time with Annie and Tommaso there. Whether it's somebody that's an acquaintance, yeah, we'll have to just see. Well, we don't know that exactly. Well, we know that Dodie, we know that Tomato Man dropped her off. But we're conflicted if it was Annie and Tomato Guy, right? Yeah. I agree. As long as families get answers, have a great night, everyone. Yeah, shit. I put myself to sleep. I know it is really weird. It is really weird. Anyways, thank you guys again all for being here. Tomorrow, I know I'm going to be having dinner with my husband, but I'm not sure what else I'll be doing. I'll just see whatever information comes out and stuff like that. Anyways, you guys have a good night. And if I see you tomorrow, I'll see you tomorrow. If not, like I said, I'm like the rest of the night, I'm going to be pretty much be, seeing whatever else comes out. Sunny, the border matches your bed. You're right. It's what, fuck me if I don't keep yawning. I really like that. Whatever you want to call it, turquoise, aqua, blue. Anyways, you guys, thanks for being here again. You guys have a great night. Prayers and answers for, of course, Nancy Guthrie and her family members, and prayers and love and hugs to Jack and Lily Sullivan in the Nova Scotia Canadian case as well. Anyways, you guys have a great night. Thank you so much for being here.